Welcome to Social Studies. If you've already seen the new schedule video in math, you will know that we will start to go live. I have not assigned us to go live for science or social studies until Thursday so that we can work out how to get into this website, where to find your stuff that you're going to be reading ahead of time for social studies but not science. Because as I explained it, what I plan for science may or may not fall into place as we do these, because sometimes we really get into certain topics and it does wonderful conversation, but then we don't get to where we need to be, or where we're chatting hence itself to um, gaining us more time in the lesson, moving us forward, not keeping us from moving forward. So right now, this is my side that I see coming in. When you get finished with this activity, you're going to ask me for your username. Everybody's login password is Froglets, except for Ryder, who you already had your information, so I didn't reset yours. Okay, so you will click on bayhitschool.org. Notice I have a bunch more in here than you guys do because we're teachers. So you're going to come to HMHCO to get to your science and social studies. Notice down here you will have Think Central. That's where your math is. So you'll click on HMHCO. You'll go to the login screen. You will type in your username that I will give you once you come ask me what it is. The password is Froglets, Froglets, because you guys are my froglets. And when you get here, you will only see our social studies and our science. When you click on assignments, you will actually see this magazine assigned. I've assigned it. Do not turn it in. I know we're all happy, clicky, clicky, turn it in. I have it set to be open so that it's open for about a month because we don't know how long it'll take us to get through all the lessons, being we're only learning from the magazines on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday when we come to a live class. Wednesday and Friday, I might give you a quizzes. I might find some other activity that relates to what we're doing that I can find as another fun way to get ourselves into the topic. Or you might have the day off on Wednesday or Friday from social studies. So you will end up clicking on it, and that will take you to the magazine. So I'm going to click like we normally do for our student edition. It will open just like this. And when I start assigning you the articles, or the pages, so to speak, these aren't numbered like your magazines that you hold in your hand. I can't say go read pages 2 and 3, or go read 5 to 7. I can't give you those. So instead, I will tell you, you are a citizen. Go read that page. Because in your book, it's going to see left and right, but here, the whole page is going to scroll up and down. So we started with you are a citizen, and what does it mean? And it meant that you were part of a community, whether that be the country, the state. In our case, it's our school and our classroom, and it's even being done from home. Okay, we looked at this United States. We talked about how a good citizen is one that helps out in situations where you're not going to gain anything from it. You're doing it out of the goodness of your heart. We also talked about you have certain duties that you have to do. For example, in the classroom, we do have jobs, but out as a citizen in the community, you may have other jobs, like we have to obey the laws and the rules. You have to pay your taxes. We also added in there that we, the people, we talked about how citizens have a voice, and we are free to make our choices about, the way we live, the leaders we choose, how our country is run, as long as we're doing it in a positive sense. We discussed that if we happen to protest, where we want to make our thoughts and feelings known about something, and we do it in a positive way, then we don't have, an outcome of the police coming to arrest. But if you do it in a negative, which turns into what we talked about as a riot, where a lot of people now are doing things like breaking into stores and showing violence, that's not okay. So you want to be a citizen that has a voice, but does it in a positive manner. Okay, we said kids are citizens too. You could easily just go clean up a park. Obviously, right now you can't leave your house, but you can help clean up your house. You can make sure your room is clean. You can be a good citizen inside your own house. All right, so that then took us to the back then photos of what it looked like for children, where they might live on a farm, they have their daily chores. We talked about them not necessarily getting an education, especially like what we have today. We talked about kids having to go to work at a young age in a factory or a mine, where they worked for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, with no time for school or play. And you all voted for, no thank you, you would prefer to live now. How do you become a citizen? We said if you're born here, then you're a U.S. citizen. People born in other places can become a U.S. citizen, but first they have to apply for citizenship. They fill out the special forms, they answer questions, and later on they'll take an actual test to prove they know a lot about where they're living and that they can follow the rules that we have in play. We have this lovely photo. Remember back in the day, our ancient times. And in Greece, about 2,500 years ago, only certain citizens had the right to vote. Only free men. And we talked about women couldn't vote, they couldn't own things, and slaves definitely didn't have any rights, especially the right to vote. Look at that. We're done with today's lesson. Mind you, it was just a review. It's me hanging out with myself and the kitty cats. Tomorrow, I will review the next page that we did cover before we left. So your job right now is, since you've finished the video, will be to reach out to me and say, Miss Kiss, what is my username? And we know the password is Froglets, so that you can go to that tab that says ed-hmhco, and it'll get you to the login screen so that we can get you in to see this. So once you have asked me for your password and login, you come here, you see if you can get it, make sure it's working. Come back in the private message that you've just asked about your password and say, Miss Kiss, I'm in, I can see it, and your assignment is done. You can turn it in. Okay, thanks.